Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Dartmouth North. We are 3 weeks into the election campaign, and I would say for sure what I'm hearing on the doorsteps is the number one issue is housing, and that's across the riding of Dartmouth North. In particular, the concern around rising rents. People of all fixed incomes are extremely concerned about rents rising in the way that they are, and so we're going to talk about that this morning. I'm really pleased to introduce Terry Madden, who's a Dartmouth North resident, and Gary Burrell, our leader of the NDP. Thank you for being here. And Terry, I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit about your story and the rent increases that you've been enduring.
Yeah, well, before the rent control, the rent went up for 1 year for $75 a month. And when they put it in, it could only go up 2%, sort of saved me a bit. And but I think it may go up again bad if it falls away, and that's what it is, right? On the fixed income, they'll work you right out of apartment, right?
Yeah. So Terry, could you say a little bit about roughly what your rent is and how it compares to how much your check is?
Well, the rent right now is about $811, and it leaves me a couple $100 to pay the phone, the power, and all the rest of it. So there's not a lot left, right?
Yeah. So the 811, that's after they put it up.
That's after they put it up.
75.
Yeah.
So can you say a little bit about what kind of difference that made for you, like after they put it up 75, like how that cramped you on the rest of your income?
Well, sure it did.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Is there particular things you got to go short on in order to?
Yeah, well, I adopted my cats out, you know.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big thing.
Big.
And that kind of thing, you know. I eat at home, you know, and I'll shop in the flyer, everything, you know, that kind of thing. And
Yeah. And if, say, in another year now, the cap comes off, and it's 75 again, where would that leave you?
Probably put me homeless.
Yeah.
Or damn close.
Yeah. Well, that's the clear point. That's what we wanted to talk about. And so I want to say very clearly, to reiterate what Sue has said in introducing this, that the rent control question is such an alive question in this campaign as we have had it to this point. And I want to take the chance of Terry's having explained this to us to refute a couple of the key points that have been made by our opponents. Mr. Houston and Mr. Rankin say repeatedly, they're against rent control because it's not they say, a silver bullet to fix everything. But we have a whole range of housing programs in our platform, from inclusionary zoning to a permanent land trust to making adjustments about short-term rental regulations and other things. All of these are certainly needed, but in the short term, while we wait for the impacts of these kinds of changes to be felt, many people are in exactly the situation that Terry has described, that another increase, well, 75 would be around pretty close to 10% increase. Yeah. A 2% increase would be $16. 75 is 10%. Another 10%, just exactly as you say, Terry, it puts you in a place where you're damn close to being homeless. Yeah. So we need permanent rent control in the short term while this suite of things is brought forward. And secondly, our opponents say continually that this is a more complicated problem than we have presented it as, that it's very complex. But I want to say that, in fact, what Terry has explained is very simple. That a 2% increase, which is what we would be limited to with permanent rent control, that's $16 a month on an $811 rent. But a $75 increase, that's $10 a month, and I'm sorry, that's 10%, and it means exactly the kind of things that.
And if they want to catch up with the 2 years they lost, it could go up $150.
Absolutely, and without rent control, there was nothing that could be done about that. So that's the foundation. Terry's exact experience is the foundation on the basis of which we reassert our commitment that an NDP government will bring in permanent rent control within 1 month of the swearing in of a new government and build 1,000 new units of affordable housing over the 4 years of an NDP mandate.